Good morning, freedom fighters. I'm going to make something a little different today. Not only are these people destroying our country through weather control, but they have destroyed my friends and your families through drug introduction to our people. Just like the 60s when they introduced marijuana and acid to our society to destroy the society that was in place. They have completely destroyed the United States and they have hidden this from the people. This is in our president's hometown. This is what they want it to look like. This is Kensington, Philadelphia. Actually, I think he might be from Pennsylvania. I'm not really sure where that puppet is. He's just a puppet. Don't pay attention to these politics. I've been in D.C. They're all best of friends. They have you fighting over nothing while they are laughing at you. But I want y'all to watch what America's come into. And these people are talking about the drug issues. These people are, this is Street Record News. Go pay these guys a visit. They do some great work if anybody that actually cares about our country and the people in our country. Sorry for the raw video, but I'm about as raw as somebody can get. Once y'all meet me, y'all realize that. I am a commercial fisherman. I'm not a geek. But I have a heart bigger than most people could ever dream. But I want you to watch this from the beginning. It's 20 minutes long. I'm not going to show it all to you, but you'll get most of the problem here within the first few minutes. Commercial fisherman standing by. Please watch the video and please have a heart. These people are somebody's kids. That's somebody's family on the street.
All of the recent warnings about the animal tranquilizer xylazine are attached to mixing it with fentanyl, considered the deadliest drug of our time.
You know, this is a story that could simply be told through the shock of the images, but it is so much deeper than that. It reflects systemic problems, access to addiction treatment, mental health care, housing, health insurance, fundamental American failure.
Tranq, whether it's smoked, snorted, or injected, can make users appear zombie-like. Some say it's like they're in a trance. They also often develop gruesome wounds on their skin.
Fentanyl is said to be 50 times stronger than heroin and is often itself used to adulterate other drugs like heroin and cocaine. Consumers who use the drug either knowingly or unknowingly often fall into an hours-long stupor, and once they wake up, they are already in need of another high. Treating xylazine patients is difficult, as it requires that the effects of multiple addictions be mediated, and at times that body parts with infected skin ulcers be amputated, as some grow so deep they can infect tendons and bones. Overdose reversal drugs that are often used for opioid addicts are not very effective on xylazine, making treatment even harder. Drug abuse is rampant in the US, where more than 109,000 lives were claimed in 2022 due to overdoses and other drug-related issues.
Doctors call it xylazine. There are drug mills here that are mixing Tranq with fentanyl and cocaine and moving the doses out to other cities. Xylazine has now been found in 48 out of 50 states, prompting the Drug Enforcement Administration to issue a public safety alert. Only 2 states remain Tranq-free, South Dakota and Wyoming.
Xylazine was originally put into the supply to extend the euphoria and the high feeling for individuals consuming that dope. Nobody asked for this. Nobody knew that this was being adulterated into our supply.
We started seeing carfentanil come into the area, which is commonly used as an elephant tranquilizer. The people mixing this aren't rocket scientists, right? These are street dealers that are mixing it. They are cutting their product to make it more powerful.
I think it's going to be a potential problem for all the areas across the region. Generally, these things hit the area in waves.
We see xylazine spreading from the opioids to stimulants, and we expect that will happen more and more. We do know that people are dying with xylazine in their bodies at the time of autopsy. We don't know what a toxic amount of xylazine is.
People are also developing open wounds, and their limbs sometimes have to be amputated. This city now the epicenter of this scourge.
While the medical community is still researching the impact tranq has on people, experts like Dr. Dasgupta agree that it's complicating an already dire overdose crisis that's killing more than 100,000 Americans every year.
So I've been studying overdose for 20 years. Then like every couple of years, I was like, wow, this is as bad as it's gonna get, right? And then the overdoses went up another 6-fold, 7-fold. As a society, we've had too many empty seats at Thanksgiving. We've had too many people missing from our lives. We have to admit that 100,000 people a year dying is not okay. We need to be open to new solutions, or else we're just not gonna get out of this.
Use of xylazine was first reported in Puerto Rico and Philadelphia in the mid-2000s, but experts say that it was in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic that its consumption increased exponentially in Philadelphia and in other states. And now in 2023, it is present in most US states.
Xylazine, or tranq, was never meant for human consumption, and when it's mixed with fentanyl, an opioid, the outcome can be deadly. Opioids are highly addictive. They trigger the release of feel-good endorphins.
It's being made illicitly in labs in China and other countries, and it's being sold to these traffickers on the streets that are now buying it as little as $1 a kilogram. The illicit fentanyl is what we need to focus on, and that's coming out of Chinese chemical labs, okay? And they want to destroy us. So FDA can go ahead and say whatever they want. It's not going to stop the Chinese criminals from dumping this poison into America.
Already known as a hotbed of the opioid crisis, many people here inject openly. And now, the area is being ravaged by an insidious drug called xylazine, or tranq, a cheap and powerful horse tranquilizer approved by the FDA for veterinary use only. But some dealers here and across the country are mixing it into common street drugs, like heroin, cocaine, and fentanyl, to increase profits, according to the DEA.
Xylazine, the horse tranquilizer known as tranq, serves multiple purposes for drug distributors. It's being added to the fentanyl supply to increase the amount of product and also to enhance the high. Fentanyl, the opioid that kills so quickly, exploded into the street supply about a decade ago. Tranq now mixed into 90% of Philadelphia's fentanyl and heroin supply, drugs that drive up the fatal overdose rates.
It causes sort of pulmonary impairment, sedated breathing, impairment in your heart functioning. What happens is people can almost suffocate if you're not paying attention to them.
All the information we get beforehand is only when it's too late, when people are either arrested or they're dead. And those information systems are too slow for public health.
An animal tranquilizer that knocks out horses is knocking out humans and sometimes killing them.
Unfortunately, we have one of the biggest open-air drug markets on the East Coast. There are very strong drugs here in Kensington.
Under the elevated train along Kensington Avenue in Philadelphia, when tranq is mixed with the man-made opioid fentanyl,
it's made a deadly drug crisis far worse.
A record 1,276 unintentional overdose deaths happened in Philly in 2021. Xylazine was found in more than a third of them. That's up 39% from the year before.
This is a $500 billion a year business, so this is about making more money, and this is about increasing their customer base. These drug traffickers are obtaining xylazine on the internet. They're getting it through pet supply stores or veterinary clinics online.
As of right now, there's no state or federal funding available to mitigate some of the challenges with xylazine.
This is the forefront of a new crisis. Is that right?
Yes, I would definitely agree. We've definitely already have, been contacted by different cities. We've met with other cities just to talk about our experiences.
A big challenge.
It is a challenge. Yeah.
Thank you for whoever's still watching. This video is much longer. It's 20 minutes. If anyone's interested, I will leave a link in the description. These are someone's children. These drugs are put on us to destroy us. We must realize what the plan is from the beginning. They're going to destroy us from the inside out. They're taking over our government and they're poisoning our people. Commercial fishermen standing by. Thank you for whoever is listening.